so we'll see what Newbie get here. They're probably just looking for their offlaner, see if they make the last. Brewmaster comes out. Interesting little hero. This interesting because it leaves things a bit flexible. They could still run Brewmaster support. Some teams run this as a 4 or 5, and they can run Phoenix in the 3 position role if they want to. So depending on the matchups, Brewmaster and Phoenix are flexible between being support and core.
I know Brew has been played in a lot of spots in China, 3, 4, 5, depending on the draft. So it's one of the things we see a lot. We're very flexible drafts. And we're seeing that a little bit here, like you said, from Newbie. I mean, Brewmaster gives you more control, potentially a Blink Dagger carrier, and there's that OD. Exactly what you were asking for Setsu.
Yeah, I mean, ever since we saw his OD in the group stage, I've been wanting to see it again. He was fantastic on this hero. He had a very good understanding of how to play it. Bit tricky. I mean, playing into Phoenix, the Fire Spirits are really annoying. Forces you to go BKB, and even when you have that, you don't really want to be hitting the egg as an OD. Brewmaster has the evasion as well, so I mean, it's a must-buy BKB kind of game against the Troll with his Whirling Axes as well. Shaman with his disables, but, you know, it gives him a save. It gives him a good hero to back up the Nightstalk when he goes charging in, and then we'll see some kind of last pick carry for Monet.
It really seems like RNG now kind of still needs somebody to take care of the egg. It was something that we saw Newbie unable to do in the first game, and that really hurt them. So, are RNG going to kind of fall in the same thing?
I was just going to say Jug, and now it's banned out. Jug would be a great partner for this draft. Gives him a hero that can do okay versus the Troll as well. So, what's left in his pool? It's a lot more limited here. TB is there. I feel like TB's a little weak right now. He's got a weak laning stage. It is an option, though. Weaver, perhaps. I don't know. I think Weaver's too squishy, and you're playing into Shadow Shaman. Otherwise, there's heroes like Void. Gyrocopter theoretically looks pretty good. It's actually Monet's most played hero in competitive Dota. He has like a 72% win rate on the hero, but most of that is the old Gyrocopter. This Gyrocopter right now doesn't feel like the easiest carry to just fit into any draft. Jug would have definitely been the best option.
Could we see the Lina here for RNG?
I think it doesn't work with the OD, doing Lina with OD. One of those will have to play safe lane. You don't really have... you want a carry that can also be kind of frontlining, a bit tanky, and actually like set up for the OD, which to me Lina doesn't really do well enough.
I mean, definitely the Jug feels like it was the perfect pick. And they get rid of the Viper. Oh wait, Viper ban.
Death Just a comfort pick for SCCC. Like, he's played a lot of Viper, at least a couple games of Viper this tournament, and looked good on the hero. And even before this tournament, he's always been a bit of a Viper player.
Not seeing that Death Prophet banned last this time around, as it was banned last in the first 2 games. And they go Weaver, like you said.
Yeah. It's... I mean, I listed out like the 5 carries that were remaining in the pool, so one of those was going to be red, I feel.
You still get credit.
Okay, I'll take it. But yeah, you're playing into Shaman, which actually, I mentioned Shaman's good against Weaver for sure, because once you get your Aether Lens up, you can Hex Weaver from trees and burst him down, and you have the lockdown. But Weaver, if you get on top of Shaman with the bugs, it's very good because Shaman doesn't really escape from you very well. So Shaman alone isn't going to destroy the Weaver's game, and Weaver, of course, can go for a Lincoln Sphere at some point.
And there's Puck, so even more control. You've got another silence, mobility here. It could definitely be a really good SCCC Puck game, and it will be all in on the Brewmaster, leaving YC on the Shadow Shaman and Faith on the Phoenix.
I do feel like Newbie have a bit of a draft advantage, but not a massive one by any means. I think RNG's support duo, this Chen Earth Spirit, doesn't look as scary as the Phoenix Shaman. But theoretically, Alpha's on a bigger playmaker, so we'll see what he can do in the early game. They need Monet to kind of snowball on this Weaver, because otherwise he's just going to have a tough time. Playing into Puck Silence, the Shaman Lockdown. This is not the easiest of Weaver games.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it could be a little bit tough, especially when you might be trying to go in a little bit far, where you're looking for maybe an egg that's positioned properly in a little bit towards the back. So if you find yourself focusing that, I think there's so much opportunity for Newbie to then focus you. you feel like you have to take out this supernova, and then all of a sudden Puck comes on top of you with the waning rift, or they find, the hex as well as shackle. There's so much here that kind of takes the eye, it seems like, that Newbie has. And they've got a lot of control to work with, and it's going to be really hard for RNG to figure it out in these team fights.
Yep. Well, we'll see how RNG can play it. Setsu going back to the OD. He's won games on Afu and Earth Spirit. I think if you're an RNG supporter, you got to feel at least pretty good about some of these player hero combos, even if Newbie's draft does look pretty scary. So should be a good, exciting Game 3 decider here. Glad we get to see this series go the distance. It does feel like these two teams pretty evenly matched, even if Newbie have been looking a little bit better and being kind of the tempo controllers of this series.
Yeah, I think, first game we got to see RNG show what they have with maybe not their most conventional heroes. Game 2, we saw what Newbie has to bring to the table, a team that's been struggling for quite some time, making it pretty far in terms of, they could have been upper bracket. Like we were talking about before, it was that whole tiebreaker that kind of put them here in the lower bracket. So it's not that they've played well to be in this spot, or played poorly to be in this spot, but, we're seeing a lot from teams that are trying to recover, and I think it's really good to see them go to Game 3 and see what they have when it does come to the to wit's end here on Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, this tournament in many ways is a building, learning experience for both these teams going through the rest of the year. You get a chance to play in front of, a home Chinese crowd. You get LAN experience, but the big events coming up, the majors, the minors, TI itself is what these two teams have their eyes on, particularly a team like Newbie with their past results. The organization has won a TI. Faith is a TI winner. SCCC and Mugi have been in TI Grand Finals. So there's a lot of high expectations on these guys, and even some of the RNG guys. They've been top 3 at TI when they were LFY. Afu, Monet. These guys were third place to Newbie second that year. So most of these players and teams are looking to rebuild for TI itself. They're coming out of the Chinese New Year break, so it is very much a transitional stage.
Yeah, and, to go with that, RNG, they've qualified for the first DPC event of the year going into the minor, beating out, I believe, Aster. It was Vici and RNG who got to the minor, and they were the ones who got to the minor first. They got to that upper bracket, 2-0'd both their series, and then they were on into the minor. So, this is definitely a building experience for RNG. What do you do when it feels like you're on your heels? What do you do when you're in an elimination scenario like this? This is good experience going into the minor for them.
Yeah, I think that's what they got to feel right now, is that they're starting to gel. They're starting to look better as a team. I think they still have some ways to go before they're going to be, looking at like one of the favorites in that minor. It's going to be tough for them, but so far things are shaping up.
Yeah, and this is also with the change from September to LANM. So this is their first tournament with that lineup coming in, or with LANM.
Yeah, LANM's a great veteran captain, and I think very importantly as well is they've got Mikasa as a coach. This guy's like maybe the best coach in China. At least he's always up there. He's a tier 1 coach. There's not many tier 1 coaches in Dota. There's probably like less than 10, maybe slightly more than 5, and he's definitely one of them. Oh, another Miss Courier snipe. Wakesy going for it on his Shaman. These Shamans trying to snipe Couriers. It's one of the few heroes that can one-shot the Courier. And Puck made almost solo kill in Setsu.
Yeah, Setsu forced to use that salve with Wakesy coming over. I mean, you got to play this pretty safe. And this is the hero that we were really waiting for Setsu. So I'm excited to see where this goes. And that could have been potentially, really horrible for him to go down if that Shadow Shaman was able to take advantage and find like a shackle in there.
Couldn't quite get. He had the boots, but he just came in a little bit later than he needed to. Even just an Ether Shock would have finished him off that 140 damage if he got him before the salve regen. But another salve coming out for Setsu. He's 6-2 to the 7-4 of Puck. Puck is a very strong mid laner with the base damage of this hero. Once you get that double null up, it's very hard to lane against Puck.
They're going for flyby over top. They've got Faith under the tower with Wakesy. Meanwhile, Afu just kind of sitting here, maybe waiting for an opportunity, but they're going to go in really far for flyby inside these trees. He's trying to get out, but Wakesy ends up dying. At the same time, though, LANM and Monet, they combine for first blood on All-In.
Yeah, Chen actually getting the last hit as well. So, interesting. I don't know how that one happened. It was at the same time as the kill top that we're both watching, but Yeah, Chen's level 2. I don't see any creep on him, so must have just been the right clicks with the Divine Favor.
I'm not quite sure how it happened. I would definitely love to upgrade my home setup where I can have, you know, maybe I'll get my brother to be the other observer here and I'll split screen like the like ESL and all that. Get the home production up to par. That's my dream.
So, how are things looking? All 3 lanes were going pretty well for Newbie. You can see the CS there sitting in a pretty good spot. Brewmaster obviously a little bit behind in his lane, but he's playing that, you know, sacrificial off-lane style of Dota.
Weissy's come over bottom to help out Alwyn as he had died first to Lanham and Monet. And this, you know, it's still Flyby by himself at the moment, taking quite a bit of damage, but that's because Afu kind of staying out of the lane, pulling, and giving all that experience over to the Night Stalker.
He's kind of getting bullied. Anytime the Phoenix has dive up, he's just using it to get some damage and a slow in, letting Troll get some right clicks off. Just constant harass on a flyby, especially now that it's, you know, it's daytime. You want to do as much damage and slow down, make it so that Night Stalker is as low a level and has the least possible farm for that first nighttime, so that he's forced to not really rotate. If he rotates, he's like a level 3 Night Stalker rotating around. That's not, you're not scared of a level 3 Night Stalker at that first nighttime.
What's the ideal spot for him to be in coming into that first night?
I mean, level 4.5, level 5 with like boots and a bracer or your phase boots completed. At this rate, he's not even going to have boots when nighttime hits. Only 5 CS, so yeah, not having boots is a big problem for Night Stalker. You can't rotate without boots. It's just super inefficient.
See, taking the rolling boulder, but Afu not really gaining much from that. He is level 3, and this sort of spirit.
He's holding points.
Yeah, he's holding on to 2 skill points as he's got one in the rolling boulder. Lanham also here. It looks like they're definitely trying to set up, but the question is, with the creep equilibrium here, are they able to go in, and are they going to be committing to going under the tower? Meanwhile, as Triple C over mid, he takes a lot of damage from Setsu, who's gotten ahead here.
Yeah, started to swing back the other way. It's kind of interesting that, yeah, Setsu's doing so well now. Just maxing this Astral. I imagine he's just kind of spamming it on S Triple C, who's got raindrops now, but was taking a lot of damage before this.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And Tetsu getting really close to that level 6. And, Shadow Shaman bottom. He ends up dying. They look over at Alwyn. It was the TP coming through mid. SCC coming back. Back at full health and full mana. I mean, Alwyn takes a lot of damage there. They take down the Shadow Shaman. This is what they were looking for RNG with these 3 heroes down bottom.
Yep. You commit 3 heroes to a lane at this stage. You can't just be sitting there securing farm. You want to do more than that. Get those kills. And that's going to make RNG pretty happy. They've got this Weaver off to a good start. That's the hero that needs to snowball the most this game. I mean, OD's gonna have a good time. He's in a 1v1, but getting Weaver, you know, this fast treads bottle into Midas so he can snowball and have an impact on this game. So he can deal with the Phoenix Egg, the Shaman if he can get on top of him. That's going to be key for this RNG side.
Trying to come around mid on the Setsu. He's already used the Astral Imprisonment. That's going to be on cooldown for 10 seconds. There's the reinforcement of the towers and the creeps, but coming over is Wacy as well as Faith. They've got the Shackle, doing a lot of damage, Illusory Orb, and the kill going the way of Faith.
Bottom lane, meanwhile, Alwyn in trouble.
Alwyn with 4 heroes bottom here. Flyby does make the rotation. He had actually almost gotten caught out by the Troll going for his boots. He went into the trees in the top left area and then came all the way down, just getting those boots so he could do something in this first night.
Yeah, he's just trying to defend his tower. Problem is, Lanham, he's a champ. He gets the double siege creep. You only need 1 point in Holy Persuasion to take siege creeps. And 2 in the Divine Fervor. He pushes pretty damn fast with his team down here.
And that regen 2 per second, the attack damage at 24 at level 2.
Yeah. Giving the Weaver that Divine Favor so he gets extra value from the Tengo heal and just gets that HP regen. Giving Monet that bit of extra sustain in his lane.
With that kill out, though, mid, SCC is able to recover a little bit. He's now ahead in terms of experience in front of Setsu, and right out of the Astral Imprisonment is going to be the Dream Coil that gets snapped. Illusory Orb over the top as well as the Waning Rift, so that'll silence him. Faith a little bit late to the party, but they've also got Flyby coming in. And SCC in a little bit of trouble as I think the Shackle was on the Centaur. They'll get the kill here onto the Puck.
Radiant's
And RNG, they send quite a bit over mid to get this done.
We've talked about how, you know, breaking that puck call is where all the damage comes in, but sometimes breaking it is the right play, and that's one of those scenarios where Shaman can't get in range to use his spells because he just instantly runs, breaks the coil, gets out of there, and as a result, OD survives that game. So very nicely played.
Flyby TP's top. Afu is dealing with Mugi. They are trying to get in here because they've also got Monet as well as Lanham coming over. Mugi, he's trying to run with the rolling boulder right on top of him. They'll get the kill. SCC's also made the rotation towards the top lane. But with 4 heroes here on RNG, there's really not much you can do to save Mugi.
Yep. He goes down, the puck's dying, so both the Newbie key players dying in quick succession here early on in the game. That's not what you want to see. Very different to the last 2 games where RNG weren't making moves in the early game. I feel like 2 games in a row they had like 1 kill in the first 10 minutes. This time they're already at 5.
Nice.
They're looking for more faith.
Actually, Icarus dives over to the top, and there's the Centaur from Lanham. That was an aggressive play from Afu to get that done. Meanwhile, mid, there's the Hex as well as the Dream Coil. Oh, Setsu surviving! That's thanks to Lanham. Now they look over at SCC's in a lot of trouble. The Geomagnetic Grip will silence him up. The Sanity's Eclipse is dropped in. One more shot coming out from Setsu. They turn this around for RNG. That goes horribly.
SCC, he must be like a little bit tilted right now. He dies mid going for a kill. He then respawns, TP's top, wastes his time because they don't get the counter gank up top. So he's wasting a lot of time already. Now he comes back mid, goes for another kill, and once again, like last time, dies for it. So he's died twice in a row because of his own over-aggression.
It's the Divine Favor that saves Setsu. Just getting that
really
last bit.
Nice moves from RNG. Lanham's Chen is looking very solid here. 2-0 and 5, all 7 kills. He's got his name on in some fashion.
Very involved in a lot of movement from RNG. We're seeing them put immense pressure onto Newbie in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Weaver is kind of just sitting bottom, free farming. If this Weaver can get the bounty runes at 10 minutes and refill the bottle, this lane is going to look really good for Monet. He's going to get that Midas up nice and fast as well. But it does look like Newbie, maybe aware of this, are rotating towards those bounty runes. At least looking to take away one of them from Monet. Can they get both, though? Monet really wants this. He's waiting on the high ground. It looks like he will get it.
And then it's going to be 2 bounty runes top as well for RNG.
That's some good discipline. I feel like a lot of carries there would have gotten greedy and gone for the bounty rune on the other side. I know if I'm playing Weaver, I'm like, oh, I'm a Weaver. I got Shikuchi. I'll be fine. I can get this bounty rune, and then I just die. Monet, he knows what's up. Plays it safe, gets the 1 bounty rune, and his team get the 2 bounty runes up top.
There's so many heroes on RNG looking for Midas right now. Night Stalker's getting a Midas, Earth Spirit's getting a Midas, Monet's getting a Midas. Thankfully OD isn't, and Chen isn't. Top 5 Midas gaming. But
you know, one day we'll reach a game with 5 Midases. We're just
on
not
both
quite there
sides.
Yet. Yes. 10 Midas. Maybe throw a Lone Druid in there for the 11th.
Gotta have an Arc Warden in that game.
Yeah, you can add a few more in.
Boogie, he's died once, but he's still sitting here top of the network, and he's going for the Battle Fury. So sitting in a relatively nice position.
Getting ganked and dying once doesn't matter if you're free farming the entire rest of the time. He's not being pressured. Getting ganked is very different to being pressured because at no point have RNG sent heroes to his lane who can stop him from farming.
Alwyn coming over, but Flyby is here. They look over at Faith. They've got themselves the Void right on top. The Thunderpipe's not going to land. And now Dream Coil onto Flyby, doing a lot of damage with the Icarus Hive that went over him. The Illusory Orb will come through as well. He's going to be silenced by the Waning Rift onto the low ground, but now Flyby actually just eludes them. He comes over. Mugi's towards the north. He needs to get out of here. The Courier spots him, but he gets into the trees, and they're going to use this Courier to try and keep this vision on top of him. He'll try to get the Courier kill. Ooh, 10 health. That's a close one there, but he's still past the tier 3s. This is a journey. And he gets out.
They didn't want to. It was smart with the Courier. They want to keep vision of him. They know if they can, see him over the trees, the Shaman can stop him from TPing out with the Hex. But once he hits the Courier, they don't want to risk losing it, so they stop chasing it.
Oh, this seems like so many frustrating things happening on the Newbie side. They're unable to get that kill with Flyby with 4 or 5 heroes committing to just go with that and a Courier. And then, you know, like we saw earlier with the puck, SCC TPs towards top, doesn't find anything there. After dying mid, comes back mid, ends up dying again. Like, things that are just getting under the skin of Newbie.
Yeah, they're going to feel like, you know, they're just not quite as polished as they were the last 2 games. Particularly SCC's puck. I mean, that's... It's not like he laned pretty well. It's that those 2 deaths hurt him so much. That Dream Coil usage, they don't manage to kill the Night Stalker when they commit so much time, so many resources just going for a kill there. But Flyby just manages to outplay them, so a bit of frustration must be sinking in for Newbie. They have got the Mugi late game troll. I mean, he is farming very, very well. He's going to have a Battle Fury at a pretty good time here. But Weaver with a Midas is actually overtaken him on overall farm now. So Monet is going to be able to at least match up in a decent way.
Yeah, he's almost level 10 as well. Sitting here about the same as Troll. A little bit ahead in the experience, and he's going for the Battle Fury, but he's still a little bit of a ways off of it. So we'll see when he gets to that Battle Fury what will be next for him. What we've been seeing so far is Yasha into a BKB from Trolls. There's another Midas.
Midas Gaming. Brewmaster gets his. I think Newbie, with all the things that are going wrong and the fact they have a Troll, they're just going to fall back to playing defensive farming. With the Midas and with the Troll almost having Battle Fury, they are not the ones who are going to be making moves this game.
Setsu's got a blink too, and over bottom they've got this Shackle, and then the Astral Imprisonment comes down on SCC. Flyby coming over, they're looking to get the kill on Oasis. Time lapse used, Silence on top of the puck, nowhere to he's even able to go. Can they get the kill?
Yeah, all it took was a Chen heal, and again, oh my god, SCC, I mean, we talked about him being a little bit tilted by some of the earlier mishaps. He's going to be feeling even worse now.
Yeah, they go for the Chen over top. They use the Primal Split, but Afu comes in with a Rolling Boulder. The Boulder Smash is going to hit on Oasis. They'll look for the kill at least on Alanim, who brought Flyby back here to try and save him. Now Afu taking a lot of damage to Mugi. It's going to be a double kill here. Might even be a triple kill with the Cyclone keeping this Night Stalker up in the air. They finally kill off the Shadow Shaman. He'll attempt to TP out, and will be able to do so.
Troll coming into play. You may be trying to farm up a Battle Fury, but when you find a DD and when your teammates can kind of bait for you, imagine Troll more than happy there to show up and help clean up a couple of kills. Mugi gets 2 kills to his name off of that double damage rune rotation. So he's back on top of the net worth now. But that play bottom, I mean, it's a big kill if they can get it. They throw all their ultimates, the Serpent Wards with the puck, but Chen heal. It's 300 heal at level 1. It's such a huge amount of heal. This got buffed in 7.21, and as a result, Weaver just survives through it. Add 300 health onto whatever his hit points is, and that's basically what he actually is. He's so much tankier than he looks when Chen can drop the ultimate.
One of the things I'm noticing too is, you know, nighttime is just so scary for the puck. Usually you have that ability to get the phase shift out. You're able to illusory orb, stay that elusive hero that you are. But if Flyby's on top of you, that's not happening. At night, when you've got this Silence just laying on top, how do you get out? What do you do? It just seems like they're able to chase down this puck with ease at night.
Yeah, and he comes out of a phase shift. He can't use a Silence or an orb. It's a very tricky matchup. Now that the Night Stalker Silence is around him, rather than you don't have to actually cast it anymore, which is so nice.
Radiant are scanning.
It really is nuts, and it just makes it so hard for the puck. A pick we saw come after the Night Stalker, and it seems to be like Night Stalker could be a bit of a counter to the puck.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, more so than the hero used to be. But still, they got this Troll farming. He's got his Battle Fury now, so he's going to accelerate to that BKB pretty fast. And at the same time, someone we haven't seen, Setsu's OD, hyped him up. He's been the one quietly farming on RNG side, so Blink, Kaya, a lot of good farm on this OD.
Forcing out the Supernova towards top. Phoenix left with 10 health before he was able to get that Supernova off. He had to Icarus dive back behind his tier 2 tower. But again, RNG keeping the pressure on. And they're going to look for it. They've got the Blink Dagger on Setsu. The Astral Imprisonment will come through. And that's going to be on to Faith, who just used the Supernova. So it's not even going to matter. They go and find him and get the kill.
Yeah, they were hoping for more with the charge forward, but Odie's actually stuck.
All in, now silenced. Flyby on top of him. Can he get the Astral Imprisonment off? No. Sanity Scope's going to be dropped. He'll get the kill on a Shadow Shaman. That's going to be 3 here for RNG, just like that.
They're overrunning them. They may find Moogie as well. Odie's got a blink in 5 seconds, and they're pinging Moogie. They know where he's going.
Here's the
and
blink.
Yeah, Nightstalker can chase him down.
There it is. Moogie in a lot of trouble. The Astral Imprisonment, they'll try and TP over, but again, Flyby not a lot of mana here.
They saw those TP. I think they make a good, safe call. They committed a lot. Odie didn't have ultimate. Nightstalker had no mana left, so they make the smart call just to back off and not risk anything there.
That is so much pressure being put on from RNG. They get 3 kills there. They gain themselves about 1,200 in terms of net worth. And this is the power that they're showing. Even despite the fact that Troll is at top of the net worth, I mean, they don't really quite care. They've found their pickups. They're finding their pressure. They're finding their spots and making Newbie pay quite heavily. And especially, you know, look at where SCCC is in terms of net worth. So far
yeah, oof, that is. And he hasn't gone for this Midas, which Pucks sometimes do. I think they have enough Midases that could have hurt them if they got any more. But actually, they've only got the one. It's the Dire who's kind of racking them up. But Newbie, with some of these ultimates down, are actually going to go into the Rosham pit. Very bold maneuver. Sanity's down, Dark Ascension on cooldown, but it is nighttime. But they just feel like they have to make a play here. And with the Brewmaster split and the Vlad, Luki, he's going to likely get an Aegis here uncontested. They scan it, but it's too late. I don't think RNG were expecting Newbie to go for such a bold play, considering they're down 8k gold.
Yeah, that's the kind of risk-taking, though, that's necessary to try and pull this game back.
Yeah. All right, they turned that like an 8k gold lead down now around a 7k gold lead. They get this Aegis to play around, which I think initially they're just going to use to farm a bit more. Troll doesn't have BKB yet, so until he has that, they don't really have any way to team fight.
He's going for Radiance. Sometimes we see a Blink Dagger on the Brew, but as that's happening over bottom, they've got the Dream Coil on a Flyby as well as Afu. The Icarus stock comes in with the Supernova, so they're going to have to try and take it out, but they have nothing to go through with it. Afu gets killed. The Primal Split's going to be used. The Shackle on top of it. Supernova pops, and Flyby going down. That's a 3-time spree going the way of the Shadow Shaman, and this is Newbie capitalizing. Does cost them quite a bit to get those couple of kills, but if they can find themselves maybe one more, it's definitely worth it. But Lanham comes down to the ground. Back to form will be all in. And although they got the Cyclone out, there wasn't anybody following immediately.
Yeah, everyone else was like, okay, we won the fight, let's back off. Whereas Arwen's like, I'm chasing, guys, I caught the Chen, but it's just a Chen, and chasing at that point is not the play. They should have been securing these bounty runes. They were going to get 2 bottom, but they get none of the bounty runes up top, and I feel like if they backed off after getting those kills, they could have gotten at least 3, maybe even all 4 bounty runes there if someone like Puck plus Shaman TP'd up top.
So still a 6,000 net worth lead here.
But we can see Newbie's lineup. They're very scary in a team fight. If they have Brewmaster Split, Phoenix Supernova, there's not a whole lot RNG can do. They're going to need like a Weaver to get like a BKB before he can reliably kill the egg in these team fights.
This Weaver treads Midas going into a Mjolnir and then into BKB. That's quite a bit of gold. Has that Midas to work with. And then so does the Night Stalker. He's got a Midas going into the BKB as well. And then, of course, we saw Earth Spirit earlier. He's got a Midas going into the Yules. So Midas Gaming right now for RNG really ramping up in these next couple of items.
They've got 3 Midas to just the 1 on Newbie. And that's where that gold lead doesn't prevent Newbie from team fighting, because that gold lead is pretty much the cost of those 3 Midas right now. So Newbie, if they're getting off good ultimates, they're going to have
rolling boulder. That'll find the Shadow Shaman. I think the Boulder Smash also hit onto the Brewmaster, because they're going to get both these kills. The TP through from Moogie. He kept that going after losing 2 of those heroes. So we'll see what he's able to do. He's got that BKB. The Timeless is going to be used by Monet. And now they try to exit. Eject. There's the Dream Coil onto Lanham. But that's it.
I don't think you want to pop your B. He still has an Aegis, so there's no rush to BKB. If you know you're going to kill like carries during your BKB duration, because let's say like the Puck Dream Coils an OD, or I don't know, a Night Stalker, then yeah, maybe you pop your BKB to kill off the carry, but he BKB'd with no teammates with him. Sure, he doesn't want to die because he was kind of 1v3 there, but you've got an Aegis. I feel like you have to make sure that BKB is used to secure kills, not just to, you know, allow yourself to get some right clicks off, because he wasn't even close to killing anyone during his BKB. That was very poor usage from Newbie.
On top of that, the Shadow Shaman and the Brew bought back just for that. I mean, it seems like it's a lot to commit to just get themselves a Chen. And maybe a lot more than Newbie were thinking when they went into that fight. Because I really didn't think that Mugi was going to commit to that TP, but then they bought back, and I think they were thinking that that could have been a lot more for them. But the Dream Coil only landed one.
Yeah, with the chase of, a Puck Dream Coil, a Shaman with Aether Lens, they have good chase and catch. Shaman doesn't quite have his Blink Dagger yet, but theoretically, if they can get these heroes in, you enable the Troll to do a lot of damage. But Mugi needs to wait for those teammates to arrive before, he starts thinking about using his BKB and holding his ground and taking that fight.
They bring in Setsu, they smoke up. Did that land onto Flyby? Yes, it did. So 5-man smoke coming in from RNG. See who they're able to find. Over bottom is the Shadow Shaman. Flyby using that Midas. But they've also got the Troll here.
He's gotten Aegis, but they could think about killing him twice. They're going to have to do it quickly, because they can TP to the Shrine on the Newbie side to protect him.
Rolling Boulder in. The Serpent Wards are going to get committed to this. They also find Mugi. They'll throw the Swarm right on top of him. The Dream Coil is going to be used onto 2 of these heroes, and SCC will lose Reorbs over. Mugi, though, he's got that Aegis. They'll also use the Primal Split. There's the Rolling Boulder out, but that's onto the high ground where this Troll is sitting. They'll pop the Aegis, and let's see if they can find anything else. Cyclone up is the Chen. Do they reinitiate here on Newbie? They don't have the Shadow Shaman for now, but there's the Shikuchi over. Weaver trying to find a pickoff. Will get it onto Faith, and now back to form his own, looking over at Lanum. Apu sitting on the side. The Hand of God's going to be used. They'll get the kill into the Chen, and now they look over at Setsu. They've got 3 heroes ready to go, but behind them is Monet as well as Apu. The Geomagnetic Grip, that's going to hit onto 2. The Boulder Smash hits onto 3. These heroes hitting away is Setsu, who still has this Sanity's Eclipse. He's got 32 intelligence stolen. Now you need to get out of here. Flyby. He's got the silence on Mugi, who's also here with SCC. Setsu could be ready to just throw the hammer down on these heroes if they're not too careful. The silence comes out with the BKB being popped by Mugi. The Astral Imprisonment once again. 36 intelligence with the Arcane Orb, but hitting away is Mugi. Afu nearby, and he turns it around. There it is on Mugi. Look at SCC surviving for now, but the Ultra kill for SCC. Might be able to get the Rampage, but he's solo here. There's the Waiting Rift with the Dream Coil dropped. It locks down Afu. No Rampage here for him today, but that was Mugi going down, and a lot here down for RNG as well.
That's one of those fights. Troll is, the BKB durations, you can see why it matters so much there. He had a 9-second one. If that's any shorter, OD gets that Sanity's Eclipse out even sooner. The defensive Astral buys him enough time that he comes out and can just drop it right away. He has to wait a little bit. And SCC luckily able to help clean up there. And actually walks away with a solo kill. He got 1,300 gold for ending the OD's kill streak there. So SCC suddenly hits level 18. That is so nice for his game, although they do lose the Troll. Definitely, I think Newbie will be feeling a sigh of relief that the OD didn't get both the Puck and the Troll Warlord with that ultimate.
It was really, really close to just Setsu cleaning up here. He was really racking in the int.
Well, game will slow down once again. I imagine both teams will be waiting for their next item or two, possibly even a fight around that next Roshan. But RNG, they've got these... I guess they don't have the Weaver BKB, which is maybe what the next big item they're waiting for.
Ags coming out next for the Puck. 1,200 gold away from that, so setting up to, have Dream Coil with BKBs on OD as well as Night Stalker. I mean, this is an Ags that can make a difference, and it's going to be a BKB for the Weaver as well, so the timing on this Ags is kind of crucial.
Oh. So, let's see if he can get that in time. I mean, the Newbie could just see RNG, if you get Ags Dream Coil, they're just going to stand there. But it does prevent them getting value out of their BKBs, so still very much a worthwhile item pickup. That can have a big impact on this game.
They smoke up again on RNG. They're trying to find someone. Meanwhile, bottom just farming away as SCC. 500 gold away from this Ags. Finding some space now and has really recovered. He was so far down on the net worth list. He's now just behind the Weaver, who has seemingly had an open game up to this point. 3-1-6, has been farming quite a bit. going into the Mjolnir, as well as the BKB.
Yeah, we'll see Newbie get out just barely. Flyby was right next to him there. All the wards being spread across the map here. Arthur getting vision down all along this Radiant jungle on the bottom side of the map, as well as a ward over near the Ancients. I think both teams know this next Roshan is going to be a key objective, so a lot of the vision is centered around that Roshan pit. 2, 3 Dire wards. The Dire have 6 Observer wards up. They've been just stockpiling these for winter. They're like, alright guys, time to pull out the reserves. We've got wards all over the map now. And that's so helpful when Roche is coming back up.
They drop a sentry ward down. They're trying to catch this Weaver. They've got the Hex, and now coming through is going to be SCCC. The silence is there with the Shackle. Monet is dead with Newbie. Getting another kill and recovery.
They got a DD rune for Roshan. That is so perfect. It doesn't get much better than that. The script for Newbie, it's being written and it's favoring them a bit right now. Mookie, let's say, you want to pick up that DD, my friend? Maybe he's thinking about bottling it. Here we go. He's going to pick it up in the bottle. He is going to use it for Roshan. I actually don't think he had to use it for this Roshan. He could have maybe saved it for a team fight, but better safe than sorry. Because here, actually, Dire do scan this out. Nearby. And we've seen what Afu can do around the Roshan, but he's not going to get a chance to go for any kind of a Roche steal.
Fortunately, just a little bit too quick. Oh, the Dream Coil! Catching Afu on the tail end of that rolling boulder. Now they've got the Yules on top of that. Or actually, I believe that was just the Earth Spirit's Yules. But it didn't matter. They had everybody here to get that kill.
And this is the Newbie we saw in Game 1 and 2. They're just making these very decisive, bold moves around the map. So even though they had a slower start this game, it's still a very, very solid team play coming out from Newbie. They just look like the slightly stronger team as far as just how they're playing together this series.
And RNG really had it together for quite some time. I really thought that they were going to be able to close it up. They had some fights that really just kind of hinted towards that. But it's that one fight bottom where SCCC is really able to recover, and it just puts him into, you know, being kind of relevant again. It felt like he was falling out of relevancy in this game.
It just, yeah, it changed everything for him. He's the one who, you know, sets the tempo typically for Newbie and needs to have a good time. And the fact he died 3 times early on, I think he was like 1 and 3. And had some really, like, unfortunate deaths where it's like, it's not like he's getting 3-man ganked and just dying 3v1. He's the one going for these kills, overextending and being punished. Those are like the worst kind of deaths that can just set you off and lead to a series of deaths. But he's bounced back and he's up there. He's going to be hitting level 25, you know, in a pretty decent time if this game drags for another 5-10 minutes as well. And that's where that GPM is going to really skyrocket him to the top of the network.
Yeah, that is always scary when you're getting that kind of gold. Also got the Shadow Shaman. He's got the extra cast range as well as the Aether Lens going into the Force Staff. Brewmaster, who's been working on this Radiance for a long time, was set back via the buyback, but meanwhile, bottom Flyby, Dream Coil comes in. He's going to be silenced as well. Monet looking over at Moogie, but he barely scratches the surface. The BKB is going to be popped, gets out on the high ground, just survives, but the Geomagnetic Grip, that comes in onto the Troll, who now needs to survive. The Sanity's Eclipse isn't going to be enough. Yeah, they thought it was going to be enough to take out the Troll. He kills off Afu. It did cost them the Serpent Wards as well, but
he survived because of the Battle Trance, I guess? He had Battle Trance on, I want to say?
Just at the end, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it may have actually killed. I didn't quite see how low he got, but OD Ultimate, yeah, he didn't have any built-up intelligence steal from the Arcane Orb, so not really the fight RNG wanted to take, but they just felt like they had to bail out their Night Stalker, who does survive there. They only lose an Earth Spirit, but the entire RNG gold lead has now dissipated as Newbie charge forward, still with an Aegis on Moogie. So they're going to get at least these 2 bottom towers, it looks like. I don't see any way RNG can defend. The OD doesn't have ultimate, the Night Stalker doesn't have PvP, and all RNG wants to do is just split push the other side of the map right now. Does Newbie even consider going high ground? That's definitely a possibility as well. But doesn't look like it. They want to defend. SCCC actually has boots of travel, so they can defend and then still come back to this fight.
Dream Coil plays on a Setsu, who would be forced to use that BKB, but that's an Ag's puck, and now rotating over is going to be Faith. He was stuck there for quite some time. The Icarus dive on top of that with the Supernova. Now the Hex with the cast range and the Aether Lens. With the range, this Shadow Shaman's able to just track down this OD. They get the kill. Moogie gets credit for that one. He's now 8-2-6, and the lead is in the favor of Newbie.
Yeah. I mean, that's so smart from SCCC. He TP's back with his teleport scroll, and he knows that, let's say RNG have backed off and aren't pushing anymore, and he doesn't get that coil, he's going to boot to travel back bottom and rejoin his team. So he's not... Often the issue with when you TP back from a 5-man push is that you leave your team alone, but with the new TP changes and the boot to travel, he can always rejoin his team, and when he catches somebody, his team can then TP in. Then that's when they make the call. Okay, this OD kill is a huge kill. He doesn't even have buyback. Newbie don't know that, but they're about to find out. They're about to get a late Rax most likely.
50 seconds without this OD. And this is a problem. Newbie looking to capitalize, and RNG not really having an answer without Setsu. And there's SCCC going further with the waning rift. That's going to silence up this Night Stalker, and Flyby just devastating. And so are these
take out the creep wave at least. So I don't think they can go for another lane of Rax without the creeps. Backdoor protection, is it going to kick in here? It doesn't look like it, so there we go. Backdoor protection comes into play. No creep wave. This is the end of the push. Good play. It was Weaver who cut the creep wave. He saves the second lane of Rax by doing so.
16 RNG. It was once a 6,000 net worth lead for them. It was once an 8,000 net worth lead for them, and they're going to go in with Flyby, having the silence on top of the Phoenix with the BKB being popped. Afu pops that dust. They've got the Hex through on Monet, and this is a little bit of a problem because he's locked down and killed off immediately. 84 seconds. He's got buyback, but they look over at Flyby. They'll grab themselves too. The buyback's going to come out from the Phoenix as they look over at Afu. The Magnetize is finally going to be dropped in this game, but the Primal Split is used by Alwyn. They don't need him for the control. They actually double back, looking for another one if they can find someone, and it's going to be Setsu. Setsu, Icarus Dive comes out from Faith. Everybody is around him. Setsu, where do you go? How do you get out of this one? But it's going to be the Sanities. Takes out Mugi, takes out Wasey, looks over at Alwyn. There's the Astro Imprisonment. Mode comes back with the buyback as well as the BKB. Looking over at Alwyn, but there's the Supernova getting popped. Setsu gets himself another kill. That's going to be a triple for him. But the Sunray on top, he ends up dying 100 seconds. He's got buyback. And there's the Illusory Orb. He jaunts over to it. Lanham, Penance onto SCCC. Nothing more.
All these buybacks. Troll buys back in. He needs to be careful not to die, but I think he can smell blood in the water. He wants to end RNG. He wants to eliminate them from the tournament. Are they going to go for the tier 4s or just the Rax? I feel like the Rax is maybe the safer play here, but Newbie think otherwise. They want to go for the tier 4s. Weaver and OD are both alive. They may not have the Sanities, but let's see if Newbie have made the right call. They're going to take the first tier 4 tower. Here goes SCCC.
Shotgun Aladdin. They've got the first tier 4. They've dropped down the Serpent Ward. Sunray going to be on top. They've got the Ancient exposed. They're going to try and eliminate RNG from this. They've got the Dream Coil that's going to land on 2 with the Astral Imprisonment used on the OD. They look over. Look at how far this Shackle is from to lock in this Earth Spirit. They'll get the kill on Aladdin, but Setsu trying to get the kill into the puck. Meanwhile, Troll going to finish off this Ancient and get the game. Eliminate RNG. Newbie get the victory. Down from 8,000 net worth behind, and they come on back and win Game 3.
Very, very exciting Game 3 decider. I mean, both Game 1 and Game 3 had nice come-from-behind wins, at least as far as the gold goes. And great to see Newbie playing really well together as a team. I thought they were going to lose this one just because of SCCC's slow start. When a guy like that, who was so key for Newbie's momentum, has that rough start, gets off to a slow kind of snowball because of the deaths, that's normally where Newbie don't recover. But that one kill bottom where he ends the OD streak, gets 1,300 gold, that just flipped the game over on its head.
Yeah, for so long it looked like RNG had it, but around that 30-minute mark, things came online for Newbie. It was that one fight where SCCC was able to kind of bounce back. He was, let's take a look at how long he was kind of low on net worth, because he was sitting here behind the Night Stalker, coming 22 minutes in, just surpassing him, and then, you know, as we see him get 2,000 net worth ahead of the Weaver, it seemed to be where it took off for Newbie, where he was kind of relevant again and had that Ags, and BKBs didn't matter as much for RNG when they wanted to try and get away from the hands of Troll. They had SCCC right on him with the Dream Coil as well as the Ags, so I mean, it really was a good turnaround for Newbie, and something that Newbie fans have been waiting for a long time. I mean, it has felt like it's been just such a spiral for Newbie to where they have looked really good in MDL. And unfortunately, with the tiebreaker, it was luck of the draw there where they were, put into the lower bracket, have succeeded up to this point. Now they're up against the winner of Vici versus Virtus Pro. So this is potentially really good for Newbie.
Yeah, Newbie looked really solid. The core players, the trio of Faith, SCCC, and Mugi, I mean, Mugi wasn't on this roster for a little while at the start of the season. He was kind of benched, but these guys are all playing good Dota right now. And I think this is the trio you've got to build your team around. They're all playing exceptionally. Arwen and Wakesy, the kind of the newcomers to the roster, are looking solid as well. I think Wakesy, his hero pool, he definitely did not look as good in a Shaman as he did on his Earth Spirit. Maybe still have some doubts about him and want to see a bit more and see him improve, but there's a lot of promise with this team right now.
Yeah, so we'll see what they're able to do. Again, I think it kind of comes down to if they're going to hold Alwyn here as well. I know they had JT on the team before, and then they subbed Alwyn in, who was sitting with Newbie, Mr. Game Boy. So we'll see where the roster goes after this event. But for right now, they do have Alwyn. They move on to the next round. They eliminate Royal Never Give Up. And for us, that's it at MDL. Going back over to the studio. It's been a fun couple of days. Good group stage. I love the group stage best of ones right through like that. You get to see every team, a lot of their strategies, a lot of what they have to bring to the table. And
it's always fun when you get every matchup too. Like a lot of the time, like when you have these tournaments where there's like 4 groups of 4, it's like so much of the outcome and who goes forward depends on which group you're in. You never know. Like people always say, oh, the groups look balanced or they don't look balanced, but you never know who are actually the best teams going into a tournament until Dota starts getting played. So having the full round robin is a great format.
Yeah, so it's been a fun time covering MDL. That's it for us. It's going back to the studio where they will take you through the rest of this tournament. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it immensely. And we'll be back switching over to the studio in hopefully just a moment. See you guys later.